You've been taught that success has to be loud, glamorous photos, viral wins, and flexing big online. But what if true lasting success is not about the spotlight? What if the most impactful women operate from deep inner strength and a set of consistent habits that often go unnoticed by the masses? Women who are leading purpose-driven lives, enjoying their relationships, stewarding their money well, and honoring God. In this video, I'm breaking down 7 habits of quietly successful women. Biblical, practical, and driven. By the way, I'm Rossi, and I help women upgrade their mindset and their mission while growing deeper in God. By the end of this video, you'll understand what true success looks like and how to cultivate these habits in your own life with grace and confidence. Habit number 1, they expect money to flow easily. How you think about money shapes its role in your life. And if you believe that money comes easily, it will. And if you believe that making money is a struggle and a grind, that will be your experience. Truly successful women recognize that God is their source, and they embrace their role as his daughter. And so they are expecting to see the abundance that is available to us because of the word, and that God will teach us how to profit as his word says. So I want you to examine your thoughts about money. Do they come from a place of fear? Do they come from a place of lack? Or do your thoughts about money come from a place of abundance? Replace your limiting beliefs with beliefs about God's promises, walking in what he says you have according to his word. Declare that money comes to you easily and effortlessly, and then begin to walk out those practical steps in your financial goals, knowing that you are not just going in your own strength, but the favor of God is on your life. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth." And this matters because your mindset is the foundation for your financial success. If your mind is locked in lack, no side hustle or budget plan is going to fix that. But when you align your thoughts with God's word and his abundance, you put yourself in position. You are aligned to receive the financial breakthrough you're looking for. It's about partnering with God, believing in his provision, and taking steps in faith. If this is speaking to where you are right now, I want you to grab my affirmation guide. It is full of scriptures and declarations that you can make over your success and your finances, and it's available at the link in the description below. Habit number 2 of quietly successful women, they show up knowing that they are enough. These women don't compare themselves to others because they know that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. They focus on their own path, running the race that is set before them. And they are so comfortable in their own skin that they never shrink themselves to make others feel more comfortable. They don't need anyone's permission to be the big, bold women that God has called them to be. So let the fruit of your life speak for itself. Resist the urge to compare yourself to other people, especially on social media. I told y'all before, there is a reason we have a block and a mute button. And so if you find yourself comparing yourself to other people because of what you're seeing online, get rid of those distractions, because we want to be like these quietly successful women who are not focused on what anybody else is doing. They're focused on their own path and their own race. Focus on your own strength and talent and embrace the unique person that God created you to be. The space that you occupy has already been approved by God. And I heard a quote one time that I love. It says, "I already like me, so your like is extra." Remember, Psalm 139:14 says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." We are wonderfully complex. My husband would probably say a little too complex. I think one time he said, "I don't even know who you are today. It's like you're a whole different woman." Well, we're women. We are beautifully complex, and God made us that way. When you embrace your enoughness in Christ, you walk in confidence and authenticity. Quiet confidence doesn't need a spotlight. It just walks in purpose. Habit number 3, they prioritize people over things. Quietly successful women value relationships over possessions. And this doesn't mean that they have a whole bunch of friends. In fact, when you see people that are successful, most of the time they have a small circle of really close, meaningful, deep connection instead of a whole lot of shallow relationships. And these relationships give them life and it gives them support. And at this point, they've already let go of the relationships that don't serve them well. Now, let me pause here. Just a little PSA. I know that the trend right now is to say, I'm letting go of this relationship and I'm letting go of that relationship because I'm protecting my peace. But I think sometimes we are doing ourselves a disservice because we're getting rid of some relationships that God has ordained in our life. And there's some richness in those relationships. Think about the relationships you have. Don't just let go of relationships when it gets tough. Sometimes they're toxic and they need to go, but I don't want you to just dismiss people. I've seen lately too many people saying, oh, I'm not dealing with them anymore because that relationship. And I'm like, well, no, y'all just need to have a conversation. So that's part of maturing as you grow into your success, is understanding what relationships are valuable, what relationships need a little time and attention. When you hit a rough patch, is it worth doing the work to press through? Is it worth doing the work to mend, to forgive, to have the tough conversations? But like I said, quietly successful women, they value relationships over things. So evaluate your circle. Are the relationships life-giving or are they exhausting you? Invest your time and energy into the relationships that are pouring into you, and be grateful for those God-ordained relationships, because spending time with family and friends, that is a luxury. Prioritizing people over things helps you build a life full of love and connection. And let me help somebody. The internet is not a real place. So if you are like, oh, I got tons of friends online and not people in real life, cultivate real, genuine relationships. The internet is not a real place. And that doesn't mean you can't meet some great people, but I want you to take that offline and really find some friendships and some relationships that you can pour into that can give you life so that y'all can build each other up. It's not about how many followers you have. It's about who really walks with you when the spotlight is turned off. Habit number 4, they are resilient. Quietly successful women embrace failure as a lesson. They understand that life is full of different seasons and that setbacks often precede a comeback. They don't let their disappointments stop them. They use them as stepping stones for success. So I want you to shift how you interpret failure. Instead of giving in to shame, see that as an area to learn from. If you've been around me for any length of time, you know that I have a life saying. It says, learn the lesson and forget the details. Learn the lesson and forget the details. We don't have to get deep into who and what happened. What were you supposed to learn? Did you learn it? And how can you incorporate those lessons as you move forward? Proverbs 24:16 says, the godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. They have learned how to fall forward. Successful women, they may trip, like it says. We may trip. I've tripped a few times, but I'm going to make it a habit to fall forward, to learn from those mistakes and to get growth out of them. Life will inevitably throw us some curveballs, but it's how we respond that determines our ultimate success. Habit number 5, they remain curious and open to learning. Quiet confidence is grounded in the knowledge that you don't, in fact, you can't know everything. So you cultivate a life of learning. Successful women are always ready to learn something new. They have a growth mindset, always wanting to learn to sharpen their knowledge base and their skills. So to exercise this, I want you to create a love of learning. Read books. Read a podcast, take the workshop, take the class, find a mentor. Be open to new ideas and realize that you don't know what you don't know. Proverbs 19:20 says, get all the advice and instruction you can so that you will be wise the rest of your life. I love that. Get all the knowledge you can and you'll be wise the rest of your life, because when you know something, when you have new information, no one can ever take that away from you. I love Myron Golden, and he has a great quote. He says, if you want to be more interesting, be more interested. What does that mean? He's talking about being curious. A curious and open mind is essential for growth and success. And your next level is usually hidden in something that you haven't yet mastered. If you're in a season where you know that God is calling you to step into a bigger vision of yourself and you want some help along that journey, I invite you to my Now to Next Accelerator. That's my private coaching program where I help women to get to their next level with clarity, practical skills, and mindset shifts. And if that sounds like something you're looking for, you can get more information at the link in the description below. Quietly successful women say no often. They are selective about their commitments, and they understand that saying no is essential for prioritization and concentration and focus on goals. While society is always telling us that we should be more accommodating, Quietly successful women know that whatever they say no to, it gives them the opportunity to say yes to the things that matters the most. I want you to evaluate your commitments carefully. Are you doing tasks that God didn't assign? Practice setting boundaries without guilt. And then you can embrace the things that fit with your priorities and release the things that don't. Remember, every yes that you give is a no to something else. So you have to prioritize what's most important. And this habit is so valuable because your time is one of your most valuable assets. Saying no allows you to focus and avoid burnout. You guys had a really strong response to my video on rest. And if you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend it. And I'll leave that in the description below. Quiet success is not about being everything to everyone. It's about being faithful to the few things that truly matter. Habit number 7, they walk in a state of gratitude. Contentment is a form of wealth. In fact, 1 Timothy 6:6 says, godliness with contentment is great gain. Quietly successful women live in a posture of gratitude. They know when they have enough and they are not constantly chasing more and more. So I want you to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Speak out loud what you're thankful for. Write it down in your journal. Keep a track of the things that God does. Now, in my family, we have what we call a joy jar. And it's just this glass jar that I found. And we just have little pieces of note paper. And every now and then our family will just sit down and just add things to it. What we're grateful for. If God healed someone, if God blessed us with a thing, if God answered a prayer, we'll put it in there. And what it does, it helps us to build our faith. It helps us to remember all the things that God has done. So when we do have those moments where we are in doubt or we are feeling discouraged, there's a record of the things that God has done. So focus on your blessings, both big and small. Make gratitude a practice. Recognize when you have enough so you won't keep striving for more and more and more like the world. See, being grateful shifts our mindset from lack to abundance. Quiet success is not about chasing, it's about cherishing. Well, that's been it. I hope you enjoyed this one. I want you to understand that you don't have to be loud and flashy. In fact, most of the time, success is quiet. It's behind the scenes, working on goals, working on plans, getting things done, and being who God called you to be. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time, if you change your mind, you'll change your life.